Today, I want to do two things. I want to talk to you about why I use Kajabi to run my business, and I want to dive into Kajabi and show you inside my account so you can kind of visually see what it can look like to run a business from inside Kajabi. I get that you can watch a lot of videos and read a lot of spec sheets and read about the features, but seeing it in actually working and actually the way I've got it set up for a business, I think will be really helpful for you as you're figuring out what you want to use to run your online business. To be fully transparent, I am a Kajabi affiliate. If you sign up using my link, I do get a commission on that. However, a couple of things you should know. One, I've been using Kajabi long before I knew there was an affiliate program. So I chose Kajabi outright for its merit. Secondly, if you use my affiliate link, you'll get a couple of bonuses that you can't get anywhere else. I'll tell you more about that later in the video. I want to talk about the 5 big things that Kajabi does for me and my business. And while I love those 5 things, and I'll let you see kind of how that works, what I really love about Kajabi is the fact that it's kind of one app to rule them all. I've run my business, Home Studio Corner, for 15 years now. It's gone through many iterations, many different seasons. This Kajabi season is my favorite season because I've had to, over the years, use all sorts of different services to accomplish all the things I want to accomplish in my business. I added it up and it was at least, I would have to replace Kajabi with at least somewhere between 5 to 8 different services to do all the things that Kajabi does for me in my business. And having all of those different services and trying to get them to integrate together, it made for a big hassle. So is Kajabi an investment? Yeah, but if you start thinking about all the money you'd spend on all the other services that you would need to replace the things that Kajabi does, you can see that you're saving money. And bigger than that is the mind space that it buys back for you. Instead of having to integrate all these different things, you've got most of what you do with your business under one hood, one page, one login. That's glorious. You want to see my Kajabi in action? Go to joegilder.biz/game. What you'll see there is what's called a landing page where I'm offering a free training called my business game plan. It includes a downloadable PDF of a diagram of my business model. It also includes a 45 minute masterclass where I go through and explain that business model for you. All of that, the page where you go to download the PDF, the video that's embedded on that page, the way you sign up, the emails that you get, all of that is handled by Kajabi. Go check it out. For me, Kajabi has 5 identities. Let's talk about them. Number 1, Kajabi is my website. Before Kajabi, my website was on a typical WordPress blog, which is pretty standard. I got nothing against WordPress, but I had such a hard time with it over the years. At the time, that was really the only way to make a website. It was a blog that you kind of made into more of a website with a blog section to it, was kind of the idea. Unfortunately, WordPress gets hacked a whole lot. A whole lot. I had to deal with hackers so much to the point where I actually paid a service monthly. I think it was like $30 a month or maybe a little more to be on call, to be on retainer for when my site inevitably got hacked. And then they would go in and they would find all the hacked files and remove all the hacked parts and it would go back to normal. This happened. Ooh, I'm getting frustrated just thinking about it. It happened all the time. It could be that I wasn't good at keeping my WordPress updated and most secure. It could be any number of things like plugins and themes that I had installed. Because to make WordPress do and look the way I wanted it to do and look, I had to install other things. I had to install plugins to make it have certain functionality. I could buy custom themes to make it look a certain way. I even paid a friend to design a custom WordPress theme for me, so a custom design for my website. It was wonderful, it worked, but man, it was a headache. Now my website is in Kajabi. Here's my website. Here's homestudiocorner.com. This is the home page, also the about page. Here is the blog page where we put our latest videos. We embed them here. Easy peasy. The contact page, here's the contact page. If you want to contact me, look, you can contact me. This form, also in Kajabi. There's also a login area. We'll talk about that later. There is a store page. This shows them all the different courses that I sell. This page is missing one because I just launched a songwriting course that I haven't put on this page yet. I got to do that. But it gives me the functionality that I need without all the extra bells and whistles. I don't need to super customize my website. I just need a basic website that does a couple of things, and this does that. For example, I wanted this header to look cool, so I took a screenshot of some cool plugins inside my recording software, stuff that audio people would recognize, and I added it as the image, and it let me kind of darken it so it's not super prominent. and it kind of sits in the background. That's wonderful. That's delightful. That's all the customization a guy like me needs. And it is, I have not had a single hack. I have not had any issues at all when it comes to that type of stuff because it's all handled inside of Kajabi. Number 2, Kajabi is my landing page builder. Before using Kajabi, I would use either a WordPress plugin to help me build landing pages, or I would use a service like, I believe it was called Lead Pages, where I could create landing pages there, connect them to another system for email marketing, and link to them from my blog or from my videos. It was a separate kind of website builder service. I don't need that because that's all built inside of Kajabi now. So for example, here is my 5-step mix guide. When you go to that site, it's a very simple opt-in form to get my 5-step mix guide. Let me show you what that looks like inside Kajabi. So if I come over here to website, and I come to pages, I go to landing pages. Let's look up that 5-step mix. 5-step. I've got a bunch of different versions because I've changed it and updated it over the years. I think this is the one right here. Click on that. It opens up. Guess what it is? It is a simple little website builder. Look, you recognize that image from before? That's the background image on most of my pages because it looks cool, and I only had to do it once, and I just duplicate pages and go from there. I can enter text here. The text enters over here. I can add things if I wanted to add a video to this. That's real easy. Let's just add. I hit the button add and I hit video. Bam. I can upload a video right here and it plays. You don't know, having run my online business for 15 years, 13 years ago, putting video on your website, oh, it makes me have palpitations. It was so frustrating because you had to either host it on YouTube, but that has its own issues because then like they can click over to YouTube. If you wanted a dedicated video on your website, it was almost impossible to do. There were whole services. Anyway, you don't have to do any of that. It's all hosted right here in Kajabi. I literally go over here. I say, upload a new video. I can add the video there. I can add a thumbnail there, and there's a video on the page. It's that simple and that easy. Let me get rid of that before we keep going because I don't need a video there right now. Okay, cool. So that's the landing page builder. That works for building simple landing pages to opt in for your first lead magnet. You can have it built within a few minutes. You can even use their templates that they have available, or they can even create one using their lead generation page wizard. All kinds of templates that you can use if you don't want to start from scratch. I kind of started from a template, kind of messed with stuff until it looked like something I liked, and then I use that and kind of duplicate that page every time I want to create a new opt-in page. Real simple, real flexible, but real easy to use. Up next, Kajabi is my email marketing system. If you follow me for any length of time, you will hear me say email is the heart, the lifeblood of what I do. I create videos. I invite people to sign up for my email list in exchange for a gift. And then that email list is where I, A, develop a relationship with that person further, and B, sell them something valuable. And that is how I've built my business. So email is the hugest part of my business, of all of it, more so than even YouTube. YouTube could go away. I would still have a business because I have a list of people who want to hear from me and want to buy from me. I need a service to send out emails. I can't go open my email program and email people one at a time or put them all in a blind copy. That's not how email marketing works. You need a service to do that. For years, I used a service called Aweber. Aweber was fantastic. I believe it had a free tier. Then when you got to a certain number of subscribers, you started paying a little bit, and you paid more as you used it. It was fantastic because it was the only option at the time. I actually used a WordPress plugin, free email system. It was terrible. I quickly switched over to Aweber, which ended up being a paid version, used that for years, and then now everything is inside of Kajabi. Again, Aweber was great. I paid for Aweber, but I wanted an all-in-one solution. So now I do all my email marketing within Kajabi. Here's what that looks like. You can set up individual broadcasts, which are just emails that you send out. Here's one that I have scheduled for next week. Real simple. Simple email, we can send it out. And once an email goes out, if you're into analytics and want to learn more about how the email performed, you've got some basic stats here. As you can see, 30% open rates, 40% open rates, 41%. Pretty good, I think. You can also click in and look at more specifics about that specific email once it goes out. So I can see that I had 27 people unsubscribe. By the way, unsubscribes are fine. 77 hard bounces. I don't love that. But most of the emails got delivered. 186 clicked on the link. But it does more. I have email sequences set up. If you signed up for my email list here on this business, you would go through a sequence of emails introducing me to you, teaching you some core concepts that I teach around here, and eventually pitching you on my flagship courses. Here is the first one you go into. It's about an 11-day sequence. You'll learn kind of 3 big lessons, and then I'll transition into telling you about my mixing course, offering that for sale. And then there are several emails just giving you some really good advice. Then after this sequence, you go into the next sequence, which does the same thing only for my recording course. And then the next one goes for my mastering course. So I've got 3 sequences set up that you'll go through. And if you buy, you'll jump out of the sequence and jump to the next one. That can all be automated. There's these things called automations and triggers that you can use to get people to move through whatever system that you design. It's really fun. And you can use it for something like this that's ongoing, or if I have a one-off promotion. For example, we just did a kind of behind-the-scenes private promotion for people who were on the waiting list for my membership, my VIP membership, and we sent them through. Here we go. This is a simple launch email sequence that I ran 6 months ago. It worked okay, so we ran it again just recently, and it worked okay again. It's a very small number. We do a big launch twice a year, and then people who miss that launch sign up to a waiting list, and then we send it to them. So we've sent it to this list twice, so about 100 people per little launch there. But it worked well. We got a few people to subscribe. It was wonderful. And we can just save this, and next time we want to use it, we can update a couple of links and dates if we need to, but then we pop people in whenever we want. Say, these people go through this sequence, off to the races. Kajabi handles the rest. Number 4, Kajabi is my sales system. You got to have a way for customers to pay you. When I started at the very beginning, the only thing I knew to do was to use PayPal. And PayPal would give you a little button. It was a little gold button that you could embed on your website that people could click. It would go to PayPal and basically a PayPal checkout page, and they could buy. That worked great. It didn't work that great, but it worked. That's how I sold my first course. And that was integrated with Aweber that would send them an email with a zip file download link on Dropbox, I think, or on some file server thing where they could download the videos that they just bought. More on that in a minute, because that was super clunky. There are much better ways now, and obviously those are inside of Kajabi. But Kajabi is my sales system. I've used many systems over the years, and these systems, you become intimately familiar with them. I used one called eJunkie early on. I used several WordPress themes and packages, plugins to do it, with varying levels of success. I used a system called Nanocast for many years. I used a system called Infusionsoft for many years, and then eventually finally landed here in Kajabi. I don't recommend switching. Switching is a pain, both the amount of time involved in just setting things up from scratch when you already have it going on in a system, plus if you have people paying you every month, recurring revenue, you either have to switch those people over or you keep the old system and the new system, and that's not fun either. I've done that twice. Don't do it. This is why I love Kajabi, because everything is happening here, and that's delightful. So here is like the dashboard in Kajabi, which gives you kind of a quick glimpse at kind of what's happening. So if we look at this, I've made $48,000 in sales over the last 30 days. We had a promotion towards the end of February. That was cool. And you can come in and you can see specifically like what has been working over this time period, or we can look over the last year and kind of see what's been going on revenue-wise. We can look at it on a month-by-month basis, and we can see, okay, cool. Very much currently we're working on this, but currently like the big bumps that come in and out, those are typically big promotions, big kind of Jeff Walker style product launch things. They're wonderful, but I'd love to get to where we're not doing those so consistently. I'd like for this line to be kind of more just consistent, or have the baseline be higher, which comes through recurring revenue. But this gives you an idea. So we only switched to Kajabi a couple of years ago, which is why it's not counting for all money Home Studio Corner has made. We started the switching process around 2020. But as you can see a lot of things you can compare, which offers are doing better. You can see your refund rate, right, of this $340,000. We've had to refund 13, which feels pretty good. And most of that is kind of want to talk about it. This thing that was an experiment that just didn't work very well. But this is just the back end analytics, which can be really handy and really helpful. For example, if I want to look at how am I doing with subscription income, I can come over here and I can see it gives me this one stat that's super handy called the monthly recurring revenue. So I can see what my average recurring monthly revenue is, and I can see how it changes over time. So we look at this over a year, we can see what is the trend. Are members canceling more than are joining? Is it going down? Is it going up? Are we trending in the right direction? I've got a couple different memberships with this business. One's $19 a month, one is $200. I'm sorry, one's $19 a month, one's $49 a month, and there's annual options for both of those. And this kind of averages out all of it. So it takes the annual ones into account and kind of gives you kind of a gross average monthly revenue that you can see. So we can see, looking over the last, the last year, we really started about a year ago being much more intentional with our subscription. We went to a kind of an open and closed door model where it's not open to join all the time. We have kind of a big to do twice a year where we open the memberships. We do it in June and December. So you can see here, this is that monthly recurring revenue, and you can see it's going down. We had a kind of a little bit of a launch back last year, down, down, down. Then it jumped up here with the June launch, and then of course it goes down. There's always going to be some attrition. And then a big jump here with the December launch. We did that one a lot better. And then a little bump here because we just kind of added some new folks with the kind of private, quiet launch like I mentioned before. But this is a great kind of thing. You can look back over a number of years if you want. If I want to see how it's doing, this is fun. Let's look over roughly the last 2 years. And we can really start to see, oh, okay, this thing is trending in a direction that we want. Or maybe you see that it's trending in the wrong direction. You have to make hard decisions about changing what you're doing, changing the offering, adding more, taking more away, doing more of a launch style or whatever makes sense. So yeah, you can see for a long time we were just chilling at about $2,000-$3,000 a month with our subscription. We finally we added a new subscription level here, which made a big difference. We raised the price of the minimum subscription here. We did a better job launching it here, and you can see it's kind of stair-stepping up. So ideally, we're going to get this over 10 just in recurring revenue, which means when you go back to that, so if you see this is around, we're sitting right now at about 75, so just under 6 figures of just recurring from the memberships. If we go back to the analytics we were looking at before, we can see like over a year period, looking at months, we'll see like the base month, you can see poor January was awful. You can see that like that base, as that recurring revenue number comes up, these lowest months will continue to come up too, right? Basic math. But that will allow us to not have to rely as heavily on launches to kind of have a consistent ongoing revenue. Anyway, this is just, I love data, and Kajabi does a great job of giving you access to a lot of data. And you can take this and export it as a CSV file, if you want to pull it into a spreadsheet and really get into the numbers, you can do that. It gives you a lot of data, which I deeply appreciate, because honestly, when we start doing what we're doing, if you download that game guide that I told you about earlier, one of the big parts of running a business is measuring what's happening and then making adjustments. It's easier to do that when you have a system of measuring that's easy to just jump in and see what's happening. Like my wife, she's my partner in business. She helps with a lot of the behind the scenes stuff with the business. She can jump in and start looking at stats. She doesn't have to know how to dive into the inner workings of Kajabi and use a spreadsheet and do all the formulas. She can just jump in and say, hey man, this thing is looking like it's trending down and this is trending up. Let's take a look at it, and we can look at it together. It's a glorious thing. And finally, Kajabi is my course delivery / membership system. This has been the bane of my existence since starting an online business. How do I deliver something that someone paid for, a course, for example? How do I deliver that to them? I told you originally it was like a zip file that you downloaded videos. That's not great. There's no comment system. There's no place for them to stream the videos. It's not good. I had different systems over the years and different levels of jankiness. None of them worked as well as Kajabi. So here is my product page inside of my Kajabi account. As you can see, I've created a whole bunch of products. Some of these are core offerings. Some of these are bonuses that are included with different products. So there's a whole lot going on here. But we can quickly see the courses, and we can go check them out. So let's go to my latest course. It's brand new, the songwriting course, Home Studio Songwriting. Great name. As you can see, we have 250 customers. We just launched this. And this is where I manage the course. So this is when I only look at this when I'm creating the course, but this is where I upload all the videos, put them in the right order, set up the individual pages. They can have like different categories and groups. I'll show you what that looks like inside the members area. So a customer logs in, they want to start the course, it takes them right to the first video and they can get started. They can click this to go to the next video. It has the option to download the video if you want. We come back out to the bigger level, we can see there's kind of two main categories for this video or this course, the core course materials and the bonus content. They can click on this and they can kind of see a quick overview of what they're looking at. It tells them how many lessons there are and where they are in the process of completing it. It remembers their spot. And then when they come in and look at one thing, I can leave some text here. It's much like just a regular blog post kind of thing. But then I can also ask them questions and tell them to leave comments in the comments area. And there's a comment system. I can't tell you, even just the comment system. I had systems that could deliver content, but that had no way of letting people leave comments, which is the dumbest thing. Why would I want to teach someone and not have them have the ability to ask questions? So there's actually I've got a shortcut for it. Way that I handle comments, Kajabi puts all those comments into one place right here. So I come through every day. When I do my email, I come in here and I check comments. And as you can see, this is a comment on the songwriting course. This is a comment on the recording course, I believe. This is one on the songwriting course. So all those courses spread about. I don't have to go check each individual one of them. I can just reply to the comments here, which is really wonderful. This is one of the things I'm proud that I'm able to do because I stay on top of it every day. I'm sure at some point I won't be able to reply to everybody, but currently I can, which is delightful. And I do that every day. So this is kind of an extra added benefit that my customers get. The other piece of this is the community. So this is just kind of core courses, how you get access to a course that I sold you. And it's a great system for that. But then there's the community. Don't even get me started on coaching and podcasts that you can also do in Kajabi. That's not even one of the 5. But I've got a community for my VIP members, which is that recurring thing that I showed you. And that looks like this. So when they log in, they have access to this kind of, it's a combination of like a forum meets a kind of a social media feed, but it's all for my customers. So we can come in here and there are different communities down here, a little bit like Slack. If you want general discussion, there's a chat room with just live comments here. There's a section for my gold members, which is the upper tier. There's a section for people who just took that songwriting course. And then my favorite is challenges. Inside this membership, we do challenges every month. You can come in here, describe the challenges here, join the challenges, and complete the challenges all within Kajabi. So it gives them a quick description of this, tells them what the prize is. They can click join, and then that kind of says I'm signed up for it. And then when they're ready, they come and enter their submission here. It's a really, really fun system for creating engagement. The challenges thing has been game-changing for me and my members because it gives them something to do specifically with the stuff that I'm teaching them. So something to do every month that gets them creative, and you can see how people are engaging. And then obviously there are places where people can just hang out and collaborate with one another. We've got this whole list of people who want to collaborate and what they offer to one another. Place to just do general discussion. You can tag people just like you can in a social media system. It's pretty great. And there's even an option to do direct messages as well. So you can direct message people and find them if you need to. It is a wonderful system. It's not the same as a forum. I've had some people come from forums and say, nah, I want it to be like a forum. This is more like a feed. But this is the way any other system you use, modern system is, right? Go to Facebook, go to Twitter. Those are things that are like, it's like a feed. But since this isn't a community of billions of people, there's a good chance you're going to get your stuff seen and heard and get to interact with people in a timely fashion. Okay, I know that's a lot, but I know when I was shopping for a different system and considering using something like Kajabi, a video like this would have been super helpful. I actually used Kajabi when I partnered with Graham Cochran to run Dueling Mixes, which we did for 7 years together, before I ever switched Home Studio Corner over to Kajabi. So I've been using Kajabi in one way or another for many, many years, but I'm incredibly glad that I switched. So I mentioned earlier that if you use my affiliate link, there's a couple bonuses that you can get that you can't get elsewhere. The first bonus is you get a 30-day free trial instead of the standard 15 or 14-day trial. That gives you a full month to poke around, set up your page, set up some offers, set up an opt-in, and even make some money before you ever spend a dime. I really like that because it backs you into a corner. I love backing myself into a corner, giving myself a deadline, and having a clock ticking to make it happen. So go to joegilder.biz/Kajabi to get your free 30-day trial instead of the 14-day trial. And if you sign up using my link, I'm also going to create a course, kind of a Kajabi deep dive, show you a little more than we showed in this video of specifically how I set up things like my landing pages, how I do my email sequences and things like that to really get you up and running as quickly as possible. You'll just email me, let me know that you signed up, and I'll send you that for free. All right, that's it for this video. If you're still on the fence about this whole creating a business thing, maybe you feel like you're waiting around for someone to give you permission, watch this video. It's called Stop Waiting for Permission. I think it'll be really helpful for you. Thanks for watching. See ya.